So I've always said, don't take Phil Spencer at his words, that he's a salesman before a gamer. So always take his promises and claims with a heavy pinch of salt. But in this instance, I can actually see him having his hands tied. Sony has now outright blocked the sale of these games in territories that don't possess PSN. Yahoo! That's 177 countries/territories.
So it depends on how they implement the ads, but someone did a video of Jedi Fallen Order where you're fighting an enemy and then a Burger King ad pops up and then it goes away. And people are like, this is the future that we're heading towards. And I'm like, if that's how they're going to do it, then yeah.
Yo, what is up, my lovely gamers? Welcome back to another episode 63 of the X to Skip podcast. I'm your boy Tamziri, and joined with me, I've got young kid Kojo. What's good, mate?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. And we've got Maxwell in the Heezy for Sheezy. What's good, Max?
Nothing's good. Life sucks and I'm just waiting to die.
Nice, bro. Yeah, nah. My life is lagging at the moment, but, you know, good resolution and shit. And good players in my party as well. So, you know, we out here. Yeah, y'all. Welcome to another episode. You know how it is. Once again, we're back with it with the gaming tidbits coming to you and your beautiful ears with all the good shit. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. You know, it's a new month. But before we get started, does anyone have any admin?
That is a negative.
Wait, Coach?
None from me.
Okay, I don't really have much. Yeah, literally don't really have much, but I'll probably drop some shit here and there. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, with that being said, let's get into the gaming news, starting with Max. What's going on, bud?
All right. So we start with the biggest news of the week. That is Xbox shutting down gaming studios under Bethesda. The casualties were Tango Gameworks, creators of Hi-Fi Rush and Ghostwire Tokyo, Arcane Austin, creators of Redfall, and Alpha Dog Games, creators of Mighty Doom. So, when these were announced, personally, I wasn't exactly surprised. I figured Microsoft wanted to free up more resources for other projects and goals. And for the most part, that has been the case. But two things did surprise me. One, the amount of backlash this news received from Xbox gamers. And two, that Microsoft isn't done here and there will very likely be more studios shutting down. Word on the streets is that when the acquisition of Activision Blizzard King occurred, Microsoft proper is now beginning to get involved in the affairs of Xbox, not just leaving it to the gaming division. So I've always said, don't take Phil Spencer at his words, that he's a salesman before a gamer. So always take his promises and claims with a heavy pinch of salt. But in this instance, I can actually see him having his hands tied as Microsoft higher-ups begin to get involved and overrule him with how the gaming division should run. With that said, though, all this seems to be ongoing, so let's see how it develops down the line. Then, sticking to Microsoft...
Wait, sorry, before you continue. I hate to interrupt, I really do. But you forgot one studio.
What's that studio?
Roundhouse.
I figured, I remember there was 4 studios, but I was like, you know what? At this point, when there's more things which will be shut down, does it really matter how many of them shut down? Let's just see what the end causality, the end casualty is.
It does matter how many are shut down, because the more companies that are shut down at one go, the more people lose faith in Xbox and the more the casualties have.
I agree, but I'm saying, given the fact that supposedly it's going to continue, let's wait and see what the total will be, as opposed to saying this shut down, that shut down, here shut down, and things like that.
All right, but yeah, just wanted to mention that a studio called Roundhouse Studios was shut down, and those developers aren't losing their jobs. They're being absorbed into ZeniMax Online, who are currently making or sustaining Elder Scrolls Online. Anyway, sorry, continue. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, as I was saying, sticking to Microsoft, the company will launch a mobile game store in July that will begin only available on browsers and with Microsoft first-party IP such as Candy Crush and Minecraft. After, it will expand to different platforms and open up to third-party developers. So that will be coming soon in July. Next story, calling all Sonic enthusiasts. A new Sonic mobile game called Sonic Rumble is in the works, and there will be beta testing available for it. You need to apply online to qualify, and the application deadline is May 19 for testing across May 24 to 26. Terms and conditions obviously apply, and the most important ones are that you need to be a resident of the United States, so tough luck for those that aren't. And you need an iOS device that is iPhone 11 or later, and an Android device that is Android 8.0 or later. That's it for that story. Then to end the segment, we shall talk about Sony being scummy. As we covered last week, initially there was going to be a PSN login requirement for Helldivers 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, specifically the multiplayer segment. Then, when this made news, there was a public backlash due to people not wanting to create accounts just to play, or people not wanting to mix PC gaming with console gaming, or even people being unable to make PSN accounts due to their location/territory. And from a very public backlash, it seemed like Sony reversed their decision and weren't going to force PSN activation. We all viewed this as a gamer win until Sony recently showed their true intent. So, in replacement of a PSN login, Sony has now outright blocked the sale of these games in territories that don't possess PSN.
Cunts.
That's 177 countries/territories. At first, when this happened, there was a confusion as to if this really is a PSN targeted block because Japan and a few territories were on the list of blocked regions, but it was soon verified that it is indeed a PSN thing, as certain users clarified that Japan and certain Asian countries have different versions of PSN to be legal and lawful in those regions. And secondly, a new updated ban list excluded Japan and those regions, confirming that it is indeed a PSN targeted thing. With all that said, I swear, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo spend 70% of their time scheming on how to be scummy. This is why console shields are shit stains in gaming. None of these companies give a fuck about you, let's be honest. All they care about is if they can make money off of you. And that's all for my TED Talk. Do you guys have any gaming news to share?
No. Kojo?
Yes. So let's start off with Andrew Wilson. Sorry.
Sounds like Andrew Wilson. What?
My bad. I didn't mean to say that. Kind of. So for those who don't know who Andrew Wilson is, he is the CEO of everybody's favorite company, Electronic Arts. And he recently said two things that rubbed people off the wrong way. The first thing is investors call. He was asked if there were plans for more dynamic adverts insertion across more traditional AAA games. So yeah, we're going to be getting ads in your EA games. But it depends on the type of ads. I'm not defending them, but it depends on the type, because we've had, ads in games before, like ad placements, like Monster Energy and what's the name of that game, Maxwell?
Final Fantasy 15 Noodles.
Okay, fine. There's Final Fantasy 15 Noodles. There was Death Stranding. It was Monster and Death Stranding. There was Nissan in Quantum Break. There's a lot of ads. So it depends on, and side note, Nikki Jakey did a brilliant video on ads in gaming. I suggest people go watch that one. So it depends on how they implement the ads, but someone did a video of Jedi Fallen Order where you're fighting an enemy and then a Burger King ad pops up, and then it goes away. And people are like, this is the future that we're heading towards. And I'm like, if that's how they're going to do it, then yeah.
It's not going to be that outrageous.
No, it's not going to be, but it's fun for people to just speculate.
Probably going to be things like when you pause the game, you're getting ads and random crap like that.
Yeah, possibly.
And when you're playing online, there'll probably be like a bar at the bottom scrolling, putting in an ad.
That is true. Those could work. You should call up Andrew Wilson and give him your ideas.
Bruh, I could make ads for games in a way that's not even going to bother gamers, that they'll just get used to it and be like, you know what? I don't like ads, but it's not negatively affecting my gameplay, so I'll live with it.
And another thing he mentioned was in relation to Battlefield, the next Battlefield. And he said, and I quote, "I've just spent a whole bunch of time with the collective Battlefield team playing what they're building, and it's going to be a tremendous live service." Now that quote is what really made people upset. The tremendous live service. I'm like, oh, he didn't say tremendous game, he didn't say tremendous thing. He said live service. And he did say that he's been playing the game a bunch at the offices and he's excited for what they're working on. And that stood out to me because a few episodes ago we spoke about how they were winding down development of Battlefield 2042. And now to hear that there are playable versions of the next Battlefield game, that really stood out to me. And going back to this whole tremendous live service thing, EA is doubling down on this hard. And it's interesting to see. Like Battlefield, we'll see where the Battlefield IP goes. But a lot of people are not excited. Next up, we have layoffs again at a company called CI Games. They developed the game Lords of the Fallen, which was published last year, which for the most part saw positive reviews, but they are laying off some more people, which is interesting because they started laying off people in January. So it looks like this is a continuation of their layoffs. And they said that all employees, end quote, all affected employees have been informed about this proposal and will be fully supported throughout the process over the coming weeks, end quote. And they said that this is, quote unquote, they said that this final targeted round of redundancies will affect 30 people across its production teams and is aimed at ensuring maximum efficiency in delivering strategic priorities going forward, end quote. Next up, Max's favorite company, Nintendo. Yay!
Yoo-hoo!
Yeah, no, that was brilliant. That was brilliant, Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the Nintendo voice actor quit a while ago. You should go hand in your resume.
Yeah, I'm okay. I don't have the... Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm fine.
So, the Switch 2, or not Switch 2, the successor of the Nintendo Switch was quietly announced / revealed / something earlier this past week. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa spoke on Twitter and said, and I quote, "This is Furukawa, president of Nintendo. We will make an announcement about the successor to the Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of the Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. Man, how time flies. We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024, but please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation. So people should temper their expectations. No Switch news just yet, but within this fiscal year, which ends what, March 2025, I think? We'll see. All right, moving on to Alan Wake developers Remedy Entertainment. So they recently dropped the banger that was Alan Wake 2, end of last year, which was a big hit, bigger than I thought it would be. And it was nominated for a Game of the Year and a bunch of other awards. And unfortunately, this is not actually what I was going to say, but side note, unfortunately, that game hasn't made back its money yet. Now, the thing I wanted to say is that the developers have cancelled their multiplayer project called Kestrel, codename Kestrel. This was just supposed to be a quote unquote premium game with a strong cooperative multiplayer component, end quotes. So it looked like it was going to be a live service game. Remedy are currently working on, after just releasing Alan Wake 2, they're currently working on remakes of Alan Wake 1 and 2, Control 2, and a multiplayer spin-off of Control called Condor. So they have their hands full. And Kestrel was being made in partnership with Tencent. And Tencent, I recently watched a video about Tencent. Everybody knows Tencent, but
of course,
I don't think people really know how big Tencent is. Tencent is huge.
People know how big Tencent is. If I'm not mistaken, Tencent is the biggest corporation in China.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, people don't realize that Tencent has probably made at least 50%, or not made, own some parts of at least 50% of the games they've played.
Yeah, wasn't there something, I think there was a few years ago, something was released where it was showing that in gaming, Tencent owns majority of developed games in the gaming industry.
Yeah, which is wild. But anyway, a lot of people saw this as a win for two reasons. One, another live service game that is, they shut down, we don't need anymore. And two, the fact that it was, it's a Tencent in partnership with Tencent, because people were like, they were going to monetize the hell out of it and all of that stuff. So Codename Kestrel, this is what they said. Remedy CEO said, and I quote, Codename Kestrel showed early promise, but the project was still in its early concept stage. Our other projects have advanced well, and we are moving to the next stages of development, and increasing focus on them provides us with benefits, end quote. And they went on to say that they can relocate the Kestrel developers onto the other projects, and this will, speed up things, and they'll be continue to, just work on the projects, And hopefully, I'm keen to see the projects that, I really like Control, so I want to see what Control 2 looks like. And finally, let's talk about Evil Empire, who worked on the bulk of post-launch content for Dead Cells. They announced their recent game a few months ago, like a month ago, called The Rogue Prince of Persia. And a lot of people were excited about it. I was excited because I was like, oh, more Evil Empire. I mean, they did a brilliant job with, maintaining and providing new content for Dead Cells. This is a cool new game. Looks to be in that same vein. So I'm keen, and it's in the Prince of Persia IP. Keen to see where it goes. And this is what they recently posted a statement on Twitch saying that, hey, we were going to release the game soon in May, sometime in May, early May, but that's not going to happen because some bastards at Supergiant decided to shadow drop their game, and now we're just like, well, okay, they didn't say those words. They said it in nicer words. Basically, what they said was, Hades 2 was shadow dropped, and a lot of people are playing the game, including their developers themselves. The people at Evil Empire are also playing the game. So they're like, in order to, they're not prideful. They said we're not prideful enough to, compete and things like that. So they're like, we'll release our game later on in the month, but it will still release in May. And they were like, we're sorry for any inconvenience, but it's, they were like, trust us, it's going to be worth the wait, that kind of stuff. And yeah, that is it for my news.
Okay, I'll wait, bro. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, like I mentioned, I don't have anything gaming news wise to say. So with that being said, let us move on to the gaming corner. What's been released, bro? And there's a game I want you to mention, which I'm going to see if you mention it. But let's see if you mention it. I actually don't know the dates of this game. I think
I know the game you're talking about, and I will mention it. But
okay, let's see.
I want you guys, I'm saying, usually I mention these games and it goes over all of your heads.
Okay.
Majority of them. However, this time, I want you guys to focus really well about the games I'm about to mention. Like, super focus.
Okay, I'll try.
Because I'm going to ask you a question afterwards.
Okay.
So first off, we have a game called With My Past, released on PC on May 7th, 2024. Next up, we have version 1.0, finally, of V Rising, released on
My
PC
nigga.
on May 8th, 2024. Is that the one you wanted me to mention?
Hell to the fuck yes, my nigga. Thank you.
All right. Oh, sorry. V Rising is currently sitting at an 85 on Metacritic.
Away. Okay, believable.
Next up, we have a game called Animal Well, released on PlayStation 5, Switch, and PC. Released on the 9th of May, 2024. Currently sitting at a 91 on Metacritic. Next up, we have a game called Crow Country, released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. Released on May 9th, 2024. Currently sitting at an 85 on Metacritic. And finally, we have a game called Little Kitty Big City, released on Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Released on May 9th, 2024. Currently sitting at a 78 on Metacritic. So those are the 5 games that have been released. Now, remember when I just asked you to focus on the names of the games I mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Once Upon a Blue Moon, episodes ago, many episodes ago, I believe it was Maxwell who asked a question that went something along the lines of, and I quote, and I paraphrase, quote, does anybody know what has happened to Donkey's publishing company? And
No, I actually don't. But yeah, what has happened?
So recently they dropped their first big game publishing. They didn't develop it, they published it, but that's what they're called. The company is called Big Mode, by the way, in case you forgot.
Yeah.
And it was the name of the game was in the list I just mentioned. So each of you gets one guess because there's 5 guesses.
No, bro. And I was literally like, I actually searched some of these. Hold on, it's not Crow Country. Animal Well.
Maxwell?
I don't remember what the hell the games were called. I just remember there was one game which got a 91 Metacritic score.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Jesus Christ. Well, you are both right, but I'm gonna give this one more to Tommy because he actually
look.
the name of the game.
No, it's not that. Okay, well, sure. But every game, the moment you asked us to focus, I have Steam open. I typed every single game you mentioned.
Oh my!
I don't know for what reason I was doing that. I think I was just looking at the trailers. But now that you just said it, Steam just does show who the publisher is. Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
so I get the point.
Yeah, I'll give it to Max.
Maxwell wins. But yeah, I'm happy for them. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Donkey's going into this business. He knows nothing about game publishing. He just plays games." First game published, first big hit, 91. And that's it for the Gaming Corner. Tommy?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, man. Max, do you have anything Gaming Corner wise?
No, I do not.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, like I mentioned, Kojo already mentioned V Rising. I started getting back into it. I had played it ever since, like, I don't want to say beta release, but before it was like 1.0. Started playing it. It's been having a shit ton of fun. Everything obviously still seems the same from when I left it, but I can already see what I could not see back then, and I'm keen to get to that level or to that point in the game. But yeah, I mean, will there be a video? I mean, I don't know. I could put out a video on some of the harder bosses and whatnot, but I think everything else is just left to those of you who are playing V Rising. I mean, you know what it is. For those of you who have never played V Rising, it's like Rust and Hades. It's a base building game, but you play as a vampire, but it's also a hack and slash rogue type game, if that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, V Rising, pretty sick. All right, I have nothing else on the Gaming Corner, so that brings us to the halfway point. If you are enjoying the show so far, please do leave a like and subscribe. We release every week, and yeah, let's keep it going. Right, content creator news. I don't really have much, so I'm just gonna gloss over a few things that I did see. Right, so Pokimane made a little joke that people took a bit too seriously, but seriously it was like a joke. Someone basically said that you look so different because you've lost weight to Pokimane on a comment. To which she says, yeah, just living life, just wanting to end it all. I've been going through a lot of shit, what. But she said it in such a laughing way that I don't know why people are taking it so seriously. Anyways, moving on to that. Destiny and Ludwig are having a battle because Destiny had said something pretty wild and bizarre, and as he always does on his podcast, and Ludwig on his podcast pretty much took it as a diss or a hit to most content creators, including himself. And so now there's beef between them. XQC says that Pokemon as well as Hassan are jealous of his success because of the deals that he chooses to make, claiming that the deals that he chooses to make are being done simply because XQC likes money, when that's not really the case. XQC, I truly believe, does actually just like his job. And to join the people of content creators, famous content creators that are banned on Call of Duty, like Nick Merckx, Aiden Ross has now been banned by Call of Duty. And that is all I have for content creator news. Kojo? Absolutely nothing. I know, right, bro? It's been hella boring. Jeez, man. Oh, and there was news about forget the Twitch CEO's name, but he had mentioned how this year they're going to be focusing on unbanning people who have been permanently banned for a very long time on Twitch. Gideon has just been reestablished on Twitch since the whole drama that took place a while ago. So yay, I guess. But yeah. And that is it. Max, any content creator news?
That is a negative.
Away. Moving on to esports. So most of you know that we're in the final week of our League of Legends MSI tournaments. Everything's been going okay, I suppose. And for those of you who have not seen SKT T1 Faker, the mid laner for the South Korean team, he had put out I want to say blog post, but I don't think he did it. I mean, obviously other people did it who have interviewed him and shit, who wrote the actual blog post. But he basically put out a little story behind SKT, and for the past decade, just all the sweat, blood, and tears that have gone into making the team the greatest team that it is today. I highly suggest you guys watch it. It's pretty interesting. It's almost on the same level of that Formula One show on Netflix, Drive to Survive. It's almost on that level. So it's very interesting to see how such a titan of a team actually came to be, the stresses that they went through. Honestly, I never knew that in terms of their stringent practicing, I never knew how intense it actually got. I honestly just thought, okay, these guys are just great. The only thing they had to learn was communication. But I mean, it was way more than that. Like, salaries were being discussed, personal lives were being discussed. Some people were told, look, you can't have a girlfriend from this time to this time. That's wild. But yeah, I only thought like K-pop people had that like stringent contract and shit. But anyways, that is it for my esports. Kojo? I just
want to add to that.
Yeah.
When it comes to South Korea and anybody who is in a public position,
yeah,
believe me, they're all treated with the same K-pop idol situation. They are very, very stringently managed.
And I agree, bro. Yes, it's sad though, but yeah, it's not much we can do. Okay, Kojo, you got any esports, bro?
Yes, I do. One thing. So the Apex Legends Global Series Split 1 playoffs wrapped up recently.
That is true.
It was quite an event to watch. Taking home the grand prize of first place of $300,000 is APAC North team Reject Winity. No lie, I have never heard of this team before this tournament. I think this is their first time making it to a LAN. I could be wrong.
Never heard of them in my life.
Dude. But they were brilliant all weekend. They were very consistent. In second place was Dog Zero, who were dominant all weekend. And in stark contrast, we have TSM, who won the Split 1 playoffs last year and won the championships last year. So they won 2 out of 3 LANs last year. They finished 17th out of, in total, 40, I guess, which is not great. But to put in more context, they finished 17 out of 20th in the finals, which is not good at all. But it was a really, unfortunately, time zone, so I couldn't watch it live. But it was an exciting finals to watch, especially the last circles. Like somebody who likes to watch the last circles, they were really fun to watch. And we are now just in the off season, waiting for the regular season to start again, leading up to the Split 2 playoffs. And yeah, that is it for my content creator news. I mean, esports news.
Oh wait, Max, any from your side, bro?
No.
Oh wait. All right, moving on to discussion. I don't have anything planned. Do you guys have anything?
I'm gonna withhold mine for next week.
I bet. Kojo?
I got nothing.
And nothing. All right, moving on to the news blitz. Max, what's been going on, bro? Let's wrap it up.
All right. So, reports are out that Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus have begun stalling in growth, as this year they've only increased user base by 1% since last year. Then, showing their frustration with regards to the Bethesda studio closures, Xbox players decided to nuke Phil Spencer's camp in Fallout 76 as an act of revolting. And the story has developed to the point that Phil Spencer has now earned a new perk which allows him to nuke other players, and it's being theorized that he's going to strike back. Then, Warner Brothers reported that Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League's failure brought about a $200 million hit to revenue. And to this, I say nice. And then lastly, like PlayStation and Xbox before it, Nintendo is removing certain integration features between the Switch and Twitter, removing such thing as friend requests and sharing screen captures on the platform. And that's it for my Blitz. Anything you guys have to share?
Kojo?
Not really a blitz, but you just reminded me, Maxwell, of something. It's a question that I had this past week, and it's been nagging my head. So, for both of you,
Oh no.
this is not me big upping the company or patting them on the back or whatever. This is just a genuine question. Microsoft has laid off 1,900 people this year. Sony has laid off 900. Has Nintendo ever had any layoffs that we know of?
Maybe in the small companies they own, or the small studios they own, I guess. I don't know.
Nah, as far as I know, they haven't. But then that also, as far as I know with regards to this also goes with how Nintendo usually handle such things. Nintendo does not typically go the route of layoffs. They usually will, their higher-ups, from past events, this has happened in the past before, they will sooner have their higher-ups take cuts than lay off people.
That did happen. You're right. But yeah, that was it. That was just a question on my mind. Yeah, that's it.
All right, away. Treat. Yeah, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 63. It's been your boy Tom Ziri, Kid Kojo, and Young Max bringing you the gaming tidbits of the week. And yeah, if there's anything that you guys think we missed out on that, you want some of our 2 cents on, spin it in the comments, you know what I'm saying? But all the other information and the stuff that we spoke about will be in the description. So yeah, be sure to check that out. And as always, we'll check you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It's been us from X to Skip bringing you the weekly patch notes, and we'll check you guys another time. Be safe, be cool, and stay gaming, and don't lag. Peace out.